I did a pretty cool trip to Bavaria. Here's how it went. So the kids and I, we are departing to Bavarian Woods tomorrow. I'm going to take my bike on a brand new roof carrier that I just bought from Amazon, the Rock Bros one, which is like a suction based system. Really interested in how this goes. Yeah, might be snowy, but I'm taking the bike because I hope that I can ride. I'm packing the car. This is where we're at. So for this yellow bag, obviously, I need to find a place still inside. You see it's like that much stuff, especially because I also take the bike. And then here, the seat next to me is already super packed as well. So yeah, that is gonna be fun. So we have mounted the bike successfully on the top. Here you can see the Rock Bros suction system. It's the first time I'm using it in the wild and in the open, so please cross your fingers that it's all gonna go well.
Classic with that. You're hoping you can top 10 a few of them with that team. In the Hill Classics, it's a bit different. It's Cosnefroid La Perra La Faille if he steps up again.
So I'm now in the hood where I grew up, where I lived when I was 5 till 13 in the Bavarian Woods. For the first time actually riding my bike since I was a little kid around here. And yeah, it's fantastic. As you can see, it's the snow has melted. There was snow yesterday, now it's gone. And that is pretty fucking awesome conditions, to be honest. This descent here actually takes me down memory lane, because that goes from the street where I used to live as a boy to where my bus stop was, where my school bus stopped every morning. So I very often took this one as a kid, and now it's the first time I'm descending it on the bike since I don't know how many years, a long time ago. And now what you start seeing on the right hand side here is actually the hotel that my grandfather had built back in the days, and then my parents, my family operated it for a long time until we didn't. So this hotel here is where I spent all my childhood, and riding by it, seeing it definitely brings back all kind of cool memories from back in the days. If my memory isn't playing tricks on me, at this time of the year, end of November, there was already a lot of snow. But in the 25 years since I moved away, that has certainly changed. So now there is much less snow, and it's also for shorter periods of time. But just before we arrived, there was a bit of snow, and a bit is still around, as you can clearly see. And that was pretty cool, riding around the snow. But it was also cool to not have too much snow to ride. So perfect timing, essentially. The kids were happy to play a bit in the snow, and Daddy was happy to ride, which is eventually what matters, no? So, today is the Saturday of my recovery week, which well, actually didn't recover me that much. Still a bit sick with this cough and this annoying thing. But anyway, so the ride today, I'm at my grandfather's place in the Bavarian Woods, and the mission for today is quote-unquote opener, so just a free ride, but hitting some other intensity stuff. Did some FTP feelers on climbing, as well as some above FTP stuff like VO2 max, FCR, FRC, sorry, functional reserve capacity stuff on a steep ramp, and I will do a bit more when we come back home. We are just doing like a 90-minute ride because the kids will be waiting, and I can't leave my grandfather with the young kids. But yeah, that is good, because so we hit some intensity, which I plan to introduce more of in the upcoming block of training, where we will mix some threshold stuff and some VO2 stuff to get used to VO2 before a VO2 block. So that is the planning as I currently foresee it. And with that said, I will finish this ride up. Look at that. I mean, really, just look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I'm riding into the sunset because I just left after the kids fell asleep, which was later than planned, later than expected. And now I get to see this and ride in this kind of landscape and environment. It's so beautiful. And let me tell you, the camera is not even that good at capturing how great that was in real life when I saw it. So trust me when I tell you, it was an incredible landscape to ride through, and I enjoyed it a lot. The other thing I found truly remarkable during my trip in the Bavarian Forest here is how empty the roads were. There is barely ever a car. You can ride endlessly on these roads, so even as a gravel guy, I'm really excited by those roads. So today I'm just doing some easy endurance riding, mostly easy, exploring a bit, and hoping the kids stay asleep while they are with the grandparents, to which I want to be nice and kind. Alright, we shall see. The one thing you should probably be aware of if you consider taking your bike to this area of Germany, don't expect to find a lot flat routes to do nice endurance riding. There is a lot of up and down because it's just a hilly kind of mountainous area of Germany. So yeah, you will not have like the perfect flat 150k route that you can easily do. You will have to climb, and you will then be rewarded with all these perfect downhills, which of course from a training perspective makes it a bit irregular. And if you scout your routes well, you will find a lot of good climbs for different kind of intervals, everything from, as you will see later, 45 minutes of intervals, and also just 5-minute really steep ramps for your VO2 efforts and the like. But yeah, flat is not the strength of this area, but as you can see, it's fantastic. And if you bring good gears to push downhill, then these are the kind of descents that are really fun, and you can still keep your watts up, which in my setup is kind of an issue because I'm effectively spun out between, say, 45, 47 kmh. Maybe if I push 110 cadence, I can still pedal at 48, 49 kmh and put some watts down. But yeah, here in this section, I am definitely spun out, cannot push anything anymore. And as you see, I don't even reach quite 60 kmh. You know, I'm a light guy and I have a gravel bike, not a road bike. So yeah, here's one of the occasions where it would probably be a bit more fun if things were a bit differently. Well, anyways, I'm going down here, and the one thing I'm really wondering about is who had the stupid idea to put the traffic light at the end of this descent. That is really not cool. So today is the threshold day, and I'm departing here from Neukirchen. Actually departed from my little warm-up, and now off we go. So, first interval is in the books, 10 minutes. What is a bit difficult if you ride somewhere where you don't know the route and everything, it will not be perfect. Had some downhill in there where I couldn't push what I needed to do, so I played the game of braking to go slower and pedal harder. Yeah, it was a bit Was a bit annoying, not perfectly executed, but okay. Anyways, we're doing the first FTP threshold session, all based on feelers, not a proper test yet, so it's good. And I saw some good watts on the PM, so curious. I hope I get 1 or 2 clean intervals in the books and then see where we are at. Will be a good indicator for where we are starting the increasingly harder part of the training session, of the training calendar. I know it's easy to default to doing all your intervals climbing. I mean, I'm guilty of it, certainly. I do it here at home a lot as well. But actually, I really like it if you do it on varied terrain, like a bit on gravel, on rolling terrain, on even some false flats. That is really enjoyable, and you have to push, you have to do it at different cadences, something that I really enjoy. And that is cool about riding somewhere where you don't know all the terrain. Obviously, if you're spun out, it just sucks in the middle of your interval, and you should avoid this, and sometimes you cannot. But by and large, doing it not only on the climbs, but on sections where you have to push with different cadences really is useful, and I enjoy it. And look at the scenery here. I mean, god damn it, that is one of the most beautiful intervals at threshold I've ever done. Similarly, I know of many gravel riders even who don't do their intervals on gravel ever, and they just do it on the road because it's a more controlled environment for the work, and that I get. And definitely I do a lot of my structured workouts also on the road, but definitely I also enjoy it to do them on gravel from time to time, and I would certainly recommend it because this is how you learn how to ride that stuff, that kind of terrain with big watts. So if you only ever do your endurance rides on gravel, then you miss out on how it is to go with your FTP, above FTP kind of stuff on these surfaces, which certainly is different. So yes, it will be not so controlled, and you will probably be a bit more above and below the zone you're targeting. So don't do all your work on gravel, but yeah, I would definitely advise that if you want to ride gravel as your discipline, then do some of the hard work on gravel. That said, I'm also not a coach, so take me saying this for what it is. But regardless of all the training stuff, I can ensure all of you gravel riders out there that this Bavarian Forest area makes for some fantastic riding, whether you want to train in a structured way or just enjoy the riding. It is a beautiful landscape, and as I said before, the camera doesn't even do it justice, and it already looks fantastic. It's a great area, and if you don't go in November, but essentially any other time of the year, it's even more beautiful. So I enjoyed being there a lot, and I will come back with my bike, that much is certainly for sure. Yeah, the first threshold session of the season always is an interesting experience. The legs are not super used to it, so I just did 4 by 10 minutes. Yeah, legs getting used to it. In the first set I saw some pretty good numbers. In the last one I had to do my fair share of work to be up there, and I definitely felt like the lactate remaining in the legs, so it was probably by then a bit more than actual FTP. But yeah, we're getting the legs used to it, and then in a couple of weeks I'll do a proper 1 hour FTP test, but we're not yet there. Yesterday I had planned to do an easy ride, but eventually couldn't get on the bike because the kids didn't sleep during midday, and in the evening I had planned to then jump on the bike, but my grandfather's partner, she was like, don't go riding in the evening, so many people are drunk driving and it's so dangerous. And well, then I skipped it, which well leaves me with another pretty hard ride Today I'm looking to do like 3x15 at threshold, and maybe I will throw in another hard effort at some point. This ride is actually starting with a 3.5k climb. So yeah, for now we keep it easy at this climb, this 3.5k climb, and then just to warm up we will hit a bit of threshold at some point for a few minutes, and then do our efforts later when doing the proper climbs. So before going home on my last ride of the week, I wanted to get one item off the bucket list, which is to climb Hoher Bogen. Hoher Bogen, that is the major mountain in this area. It's the mountain where I learned skiing back when I was a kid, so I have some fond memories of it. And I cannot remember that I've ever been up there with a bike, which certainly was something that I needed to change, wanted to change. So I figured it would be a perfect opportunity to combine it with the efforts that I wanted to do anyways. But before climbing up the mountain, I decided to add a little loop to see some of the places that I hadn't seen during my stay. And that is where I'm riding here. And as you can see, I'm so rewarded with the perfect weather conditions. Normally at this time of the year, you would almost expect to have a lot of rain, but I had sun and blue skies all the time, really perfect. And here I'm now finally starting the ascent up to Hoher Bogen. As you can see, the first parts are still on the road, before then we get on the gravel. Fuck my life. One thing that is really hard to capture on video or photo is steepness. So that ramp here, trust me, is really bloody steep. Even though it may not look like it on video, trust me, it was. And just like this, you're turning a threshold session into over-unders. But then I was rewarded with this super beautiful section here. So after climbing roughly 2/3 of Hoher Bogen, you arrive here at this pretty much flat section that is going around before you then continue and finish the climb. And you have some pretty amazing views there. And I can only imagine how great this section must be if you have even better weather than I had, even though then probably you have to deal with more people on the road. I actually hit this section in the middle of an interval, so I need to stay on the power and go through it, which makes it actually even more fun. And maybe I couldn't have done it on a better weather day, so everything I guess worked out very well. And even though I was going at threshold, I still managed to take a look at these surroundings here, especially in a bit after the next curve that is upcoming. You will see the view down in the valley, and it looks pretty magnificent. So yeah, what a fun part, and I hope if you can get to the Bavarian Forest at some point, you will also go up Hoher Bogen and enjoy this. It's a pretty cool section. So I made it to the top of Hoher Bogen, highest mountain in the area here. You see there is still some snow up here, and this is the view that you have here. And it was pretty perfect timing, because just when arriving over there I finished my third 15-minute interval, so work is done for today. Now I descend. It sends me some gravelly road, but as it's getting so super dark here, and there is still snow and maybe some ice on the surface, I am just going to go back the road way, because that is, I guess, much more secure. See you later. And that's pretty much what I did. So I took it super chill on the downhill. As you can see, it's a shiny, potentially slippery, icy surface. And my priority clearly was getting home to my kids, which I ended up doing. So all good. And with that, also the riding part of my trip to the Bavarian Forest ended. And I enjoyed it a lot, I really have to say. I'm curious to get back to even widen my radius the next time, do bigger routes hopefully, because I really enjoyed riding in the area where I once used to live. And if you ever go there, let me know if you liked it.